It's a bunch of
Let's
kids.
get all this. Let's get all this magic recorded.
Okay.
Oh, I've been pressing record for a while, sirs.
Oh.
Oh no.
Blackmail.
God, the amount of stuff you can hold over our heads.
Did somebody call me in the room?
I did call blackmail.
I thought somebody said my name. Where's my Colt 45?
Technically, it's the McLeod in your hand.
That is some fancy alcohol.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Fantastic.
welcome to a brand new pick of the week. You get all four of us this week.
Yeah.
Four of us.
Roll call. Oldest to youngest.
I don't know how that works.
Oh wait, no, that's not me. Hold on, that's
Darren Thomas.
Darren's so like defeated. That's Darren Thomas. Son of a bitch.
Cornell of Sherman Oaks, California.
Sheldon
He's
Lee.
old and decrepit.
Aww.
Wah, wah.
All right, we got a Sheldon Lee on the line.
We got a Sheldon Lee on the line.
All right, where are you calling from, sir?
Calling out of Burbank / Glendale, California. I'm straddling that line.
I'm calling. My name's Simon. I'm calling out of the Encino Tarzana area in California. What? 818?
Word. And I'm Kirk, and I'm calling from North Hollywood, California.
Hi, Kirk.
And I just feel like I have to deal with all you guys tonight. I'm really happy. I really am.
All right, I want to give a special shout out to someone.
Okay.
Shout out.
Is that cool?
Yeah, do a shout out.
Shout it out.
I want to give a shout out to Sheldon's mom. It's her birthday.
What?
Oh, Sheldon's mom. Happy birthday.
It is true.
It is true.
Shout out, shout out, shout it out loud.
And guess who else's birthday it is? Dan the Deals.
Uh-oh.
Double D.
Oh, you mean Dad Dino's
You say it's your
birthday, huh?
birthday. It's my birthday too. Yeah.
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 Yeah, but
Hey, you know what you're gonna do? We're gonna revamp your birthday.
you don't understand. The way they do
Guess
birthdays
Guess
all
what
around,
happens?
they don't do
There's
it right.
no birthday.
I
There's
gotta
no
do the birthday differently.
Guess what? You enjoy birthdays?
There's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
birthday.
Well, guess what? You're not going to have any more.
Yeah, we're gonna revamp the birthday.
We got a comic book called Happy Birthday, and there's no birthday in it.
Yeah, we don't feature any birthdays until the very end because we started from the beginning or the end first, and then we go backwards.
I heard you like birthdays, so we're just gonna give you a new birthday number 1 every 6 months, huh?
That's right.
Does that work?
New birthday.
And all the
every
other
6 months.
birthdays, all the other birthdays, they won't even matter.
Look,
Whatever happened in the other birthdays, don't worry about it.
we'll make a special deal. We'll get Jeff Johns to write one, and then we'll get Jim Lee to do like a panel.
You do realize that only very hardcore comic book readers are actually gonna understand the joke that we're making right now, right?
Good.
That's fine.
Because
No, I'm
we're
excited for
going.
that.
We got a wide audience.
We do.
Yeah.
That's good.
We draw a very wide berth.
We have
Oh.
casual listeners and we have the committed, and I like that.
Yeah.
And by committed, it's not just comic fans. It's
No,
committed,
it's-
like,
it's-
mentally.
Yeah, the literally.
No. I mean, this is like the only way a couple people that have restraining orders on me like actually get to hear me talk. So this works out.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, sir, since you were gone last week, you want to go first?
No, not really, but okay. Oh, okay. So we did have a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. We had a lot of number ones. We had some cool image stuff. I really want to talk about Platona #2 by Jeff Lemire and colored by Jordie Bellaire and art by Emmy Lennox. And it is.
Annie
really
Lennox.
I know. Every time I hear it, I think of the same thing.
I thought you said Annie Lennox too.
Yeah. Well, it's EMI. So Emmy.
EMI.
EMI.
Oh, all the jokes.
It's
But
also just not for comic
Kurt,
fans.
Kurt.
It's for music fans.
Right, Kurt, and it just makes me want to say,
I promise we will talk about comic books eventually.
Sure
I
we
did that
will.
one for you, Dan.
Don't mess with the missionary man.
So yeah, Platona #2, excuse me, Image Comics, It came out like only a couple weeks after number 1, which I was.
Came out a month after, dude.
Is it still a month after?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a full month.
In Kirkland, it's only been a day. Love
Well,
you.
anyways, it's a really good comic, and I liked it a lot. I also really am enjoying the fact that it's Jeff Lemire doing something else other than there's just a very specific vibe that the comic has, where it kind of straddles the line of Lumberjanes and then like more serious tone as far as what it's dealing with, like these kids finding a dead superhero.
Go ahead, spoil the book.
Yeah, well, we're on number 2. Not fucking spoiling it, but also it's dealing with a lot of these really cool themes where the whole idea of, well, maybe we should take pictures and put it on the internet, and these kids are kind of dealing with like the morality of let's make the right decision and do what's best for the situation, as opposed to being faced with, oh, maybe we can get internet famous off of it. And I thought that was really reflective of what a lot of people were dealing with in this day and age. I thought it was really cool that he kind of addressed that.
I'm sorry, I'm on Instagram hashtagging stuff. What were you saying?
He's talking about getting internet famous, Simon.
Oh.
Yeah. That was really good. That was really good, Si. Again,
Oh!
and once
I'm
again,
gonna murder you so bad.
yeah, don't worry.
I hate when people call me Psy.
Oh, come on, Si.
KR?
In any case, I'm also learning that anytime Jordy's name is on a comic and she's coloring it, that's almost enough for me to pick up the comic now.
True that.
It really is. I mean, the selling point was Jeff Lemire, but Jordy is now, her name is on so many titles that I'm picking up on a regular basis. That
Jordy
like
the Forge?
Jordy Belair.
Make it so number 1 or number 2.
That was like a Jewish John Luke art.
Yeah, it really was. It really was.
And so I'm really imploring people to go pick this up. It's not it's not necessarily lighter fare when you start to kind of dig a little deeper into the themes that it's exploring. I really am enjoying it.
So come for the Jeff Lemire, stay for the Jordy Belair, and have yourself a good time, is what I'm saying.
Absolutely. All right.
All right.
Because that was the comic I was going to talk about, because there's other comics we're going to talk about that I'm not allowed to talk about yet. So
True. So I'm guessing that you were engaged by this comic.
What is that laugh? That laugh is pure fucking evil. I love it.
It's great.
Oh, this is frightening. This is so frightening.
Ah, you slay me, Sheldon.
I know it. I know it.
All right, who wants to go next?
Let's hit that slew of number 1s that slid down Marvel's face this past week.
I think it's a
Let's do it.
That sounds
good
kinky.
idea.
But before we do, let's hit that free comic. Did you guys read that free comic?
Which
That-
one?
that-
The Jessica Jones one?
Yeah.
I did
No, I
read
didn't
that.
see it.
I thought it was just
Yeah,
a
it was-
reprint
it
of
was-
something. So no.
No,
It's
it is a
interesting.
all
It's
new.
interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It was all new. It was to lead into the show of for Jessica Jones on Netflix, but it was a completely new comic written by Bendis.
And you know what was weird about it? It was sort of set in TV continuity because the Daredevil they show in the comic is
It's completely TV. Yeah, it's
it's a
completely TV.
well, but what's interesting about it is it's the original creative team of the Alias comic.
Yeah.
And the way they depict, at least the way they depict Jessica in the comic, is exactly how she looked in the Alias comic.
That's
Right.
awesome. I hate that I missed it.
It's just this little gem. It's not a lot. It's a short story, but I don't know. I just thought it was great to get them back together again.
I honestly, I saw it on the Comixology, and I was like, oh, this is just a reprint, or maybe a best of.
Yeah, no, I only picked it up because I saw that it said, a
Free?
Daredevil story. No, I would have picked it up anyway. It said a Daredevil story, and it said Jessica Jones featuring a new story by Bendis in the Marvel CU, and I was like, oh, what? So I like started looking through it, and I was like, wait, this is an all new story. And then I got to the part where it showed like the new Daredevil in his new outfit and stuff, and I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. So yeah, it's a nice, like, it's just exactly what you said, Darren. It's a nice quick little story to give you a feel for what Jessica Jones is kind of going to be about, and what's going to sort of the feel of it and the look of it, and how it's going to interplay with Daredevil and the rest of sort of the Netflix Marvel stuff. And I gotta say, if it's going to be as good as this quick little in and out of it, I'm totally can't wait for Jessica Jones.
Man,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but just some of the teasers that they've done, setting up the tone of what this show is going to be.
Oh yeah,
fucking dope,
Dude, the
Yeah.
teaser for the second season of Daredevil was dope.
yeah.
I just saw that about 20 minutes ago. Yeah,
Yeah, the Jessica Jones stuff though does it looks super dark. It looks right in key with the actual series, and I know we talked about it on Interact Anonymous, but they don't. So Matt and Ryan don't have never read any of the comics, and they're excited about it, and they have no idea what it's about. So
Which I think is going to surprise a lot of people.
I do too. I do too.
Yeah.
All they
Yeah.
kind of know from what I explained to them was that she's a superhero that basically does. She is sort of retired and takes. She basically takes detective stuff, and it's
Yeah,
sort of freelance.
essentially, she wasn't the greatest. I mean, she tried her hand at being a superhero, and she wasn't necessarily
Right.
that good at it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
They were
It
under
was-
the impression though that she somehow does like she only takes superhero cases, but that's
Nah.
not it. It just sort of ends up being only superhero cases that she gets.
right,
Yeah.
So
No, I mean, I remember reading the original comic way back in the day, and it was a Max comic, and I was like, this is like an HBO show,
yeah.
Mhm.
And you're like,
you know?
one day it might be a Netflix. What's Netflix? Huh.
What's a Netflix?
I like that. And then you
Should I have
thought
my
some,
pants on for a Netflix?
No, but I mean, the comic does give some interesting clues about how the show's gonna play between Cage and between Daredevil.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that and all, I would say it's still free, so go check it out.
I wonder
And
if it was. Sorry to interrupt. I wonder if it was
Right.
one of those books that comic shops were giving out and putting them in like bags.
I don't know.
I don't know. That'd be interesting. I'll have to check with my sources.
Uh-oh,
Right.
you have sources?
That's right. Darren does have sources. This is very true.
Well, guys, so we know that there were some number ones that came out this week.
Right.
And
And
that's
someone's-
magic number
That was-
one.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Thank you for
Uh,
hitting the number one jackpot.
That's right. If you
If
hear
you
that sound,
think-
that means you've won.
If you know what book we're talking about next, call 1-800-555-5555.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. The phone rang.
Oh, is that what that was?
Oh, I thought it was
so-
the magic number one ringtone.
So there were a bunch of number ones. Why don't we start with the one we all want to talk about?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's like all the way across the board. I think we all want to talk about the amazing revamp of Doctor Strange number one from Jason Aaron, and let's just get into it.
It's really
Well-
fucking good. Go buy it.
Yeah.
God.
Well, I'm going to
It's
tell you.
killer.
I'm going to tell you something. I read it, and my feelings about it were mixed when I first
Uh-oh.
read it. I mean, I thought I think it's some of the best art that Bacalo's done in
What's
my
his name?
Bacalo.
I just love the way you say Bacalo.
Buckalo.
Bacalo!
Whoa.
Anyway, I think it's some of the best art he's done in a long time. He's really into this.
Yeah.
My only problem with the book, and I realize that it really is a revamp, and it's not only a revamp in the sense that it's a new number one. It's also a new Doctor Who. I mean, a new Doctor Strange.
Wait,
It's
it's not Steven?
no,
No, it is.
no, it's him, but his personality is drastically different from the Doctor Strange that I'm used to.
Is it? I don't think it is.
I think it is. I think he's what for one thing, the whole idea of having him sort of narrate his comic is something that they've never done with Doctor Strange before.
That's interesting.
You never heard Doctor Strange's thoughts. He was always sort of a distant, enigmatic figure in the previous comics. I'm not saying that what they did was bad. I'm just saying at first, my feelings
took you off guard.
It took me off guard because I'm used to Doctor Strange being
A certain way, right?
A certain way, and actually being a bit more of a dick.
So kind of like Steve Ditko?
I'm used to him being more of a dick, and he was sort of turned into a somewhat likable guy in the comic,
Well,
and that sort of threw me at first.
Yeah, and for me, this is also, for me, it was a little bit easier to slide into who this Doctor is because he's kind of taking Jason Aaron writing the comic, by the way, really is taking cues more from Bendis and the way he started writing Doctor Strange throughout some of the new Avengers titles, and kind of like getting a little bit more insight into the fact that Doctor Strange probably isn't the greatest guy or best boyfriend, or he actually had a relationship with the night nurse, and this seems to be that idea expanded. What Bendis was doing with Doctor Strange for a little bit, this kind of grows that idea a little.
And wouldn't you agree he's a much younger Doctor Strange?
We definitely...
Is he British now?
No. Is he younger? I don't know. I think he's probably the same age. I pictured him the same age.
I figured. I mean, read Secret War again, and even read the Bendis stuff. I think this is a young, like they took him down like 10 years, where he was in his 40s, like before. I'd say he's now in his early 30s.
So here's a question.
That's how I read it.
I definitely think he's closer in age to Scarlet Witch now.
Probably. I could see that a little bit.
Do you think they made him younger because of the movie coming up in a couple years?
Yes. I think
it's not like Benedict.
That's what I was going to say about it.
Okay.
I was going to say that.
I'm just saying that it was a very.
For me reading it, from me reading it, I feel like they really injected a lot of Benedict Cumberbatch into him. It felt very much like Doctor Strange meets Sherlock.
Shall we?
Which I was totally fine.
Yeah, especially what they did with the scarf and how he wears his cape now when he's being a civilian.
Yeah. Yeah, he no longer has the sort of he no longer has the mustache that kind of goes down the side of his face anymore. It's more of a swashbuckling look. Yeah, they took that away. No, it's not. I think it's okay.
I mean,
part of Doctor Strange.
No, but I agree, but they made
facial hair.
Like I reacted against it because I've grown up on Doctor Strange. I've read every iteration of Doctor Strange, and I understand why they made these choices. But they are a bit jarring if you're a longtime Doctor Strange fan. But the thing that actually brought me back into the book and go, no, this is really solid, is like the 4-page backup story in the comic. That's drawn by Kevin Nolan, who rarely draws anything. And,
are his hands still messed up?
Yes, his hands are still messed up.
Okay,
they're true to his origin. I mean,
the origin stands.
Yeah, the origin stands, but they have this great ending story that shows you that there's a much huger, bigger, overarching story that's going to be running through Doctor Strange.
Which, by the way, that's what Jason Aaron is. I mean, he's one of my favorite long-form storytellers right now, especially what you saw with what he did with Thor and leading all the way up to what's going on with Lady Thor. Like,
Yeah.
Aaron, you have to understand, this isn't just going to be a 6 or 12 issue thing. I'm willing to bet he's got like the next 36 issues plotted out for a larger arc.
But what a beautiful book, though. I mean, it's just a gorgeous book.
I mean, even
Simon,
like just the idea that they got Bacalo. I mean, his art already comes with a filter of the weird. Like, his art is beautiful, but it's also slightly not proportioned, but just enough that it kind of fits in what Doctor Strange that they're creating. You know what I mean?
But the way he makes the choices on how to show magic interacting with the regular world.
Yes.
Like just the way he transitions from one thing to the other, I thought was just like genius. Just really, really good stuff. I mean, people are going to be talking about his art on this run for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
So Simon, do you remember my pitch for Dr. Fate?
I do.
It is not too dissimilar from that pitch.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's totally different.
No. It's not too dissimilar from the pitch that I initially gave for Dr. Fate. They are bringing elements in that I included in mine, and it really brings some levity to the character of Doctor Strange and sort of fleshes out his world a little bit more and makes it a little bit more cohesive so that you understand where he's coming from. It's not just a crazy guy in his house waiting for people just to come to the front door. It gives him more of a reason for doing things and more of a like a general overall purpose. Whereas before I felt like it was just kind of, oh, he just says he does these things, but we never actually see the things he sees or understands the things he understands because he keeps it to himself.
Right.
But this explains everything, and it does it in a really nice way. And that's what was really, really needed to make this character a lot more understandable. And it works. It infuses a bit of Harry Potter into it, is what I kind of thought.
Now I have no interest.
No. Hear me out, Simon. They do something really interesting in the comic. I understand why he took this approach. They always depicted Doctor Strange as aloof, and nobody could get into him. So they have to give a little bit. They have to give more of the human side for people to get into the character. But the thing I was going to talk about is there's this great sequence where Doctor Strange goes to this bar that's only for sorcerers.
I'm sorry, that's just like a joke waiting to happen. So Doctor Strange walks into a bar.
He walks into a wall.
Which, by the way, I have to interrupt really quickly. We were reading this. It's so funny. The bar that they draw in this issue is, I'm not even joking, it's a bar here in North Hollywood called Tiki No. That we were at last night.
I don't know that it is. I think it's actually one in San Francisco.
You think so?
Yeah, it looks identical to one in San Francisco that I went to.
Could it be that two bars could look similar?
I know.
You know what? It actually looks like a bar in France.
No, but he goes, but he goes into the bar and it's like Brother Voodoo's kicking it, and Scarlet Witch is there, and who else? There was another person I don't know.
I want to say
those conversations might be really interesting.
Oh no, it was
read that book.
It was Shaman.
It was Shaman from Alpha Flight.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have this great conversation. It's like Doctor Strange is always late. He's the one who sets up the time they should meet, and he never arrives on time. And like half the people that were waiting for him left. And I just thought it was great. I just thought it was a great touch.
All right, hold on. So I downloaded this book, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's a giant fucking teddy bear?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, because he helps this kid who's, I guess, been possessed by a spell or something.
Yes.
And it's sort of like
I see the mustache.
goes inside the teddy bear.
I see the mustache. It's kind of weird.
So Simon, the way it's very Errol Flynn. It's like an Errol Flynn like mustache.
He actually kind of looks like Walt Disney.
The way they the way they explain Doctor Strange's world is basically he can see with his third eye. He can basically see all the things that are leeching onto us in the world of magic around everyone. And with that, he can help prevent things from happening and or make things happen. That is part of his power as a master sort of magician and that sort of thing. Now, that is part of it, and everyone else isn't always capable of seeing everything. He can also go down to a subatomic level and see things on that level that people can't see, and control things around that world that people can't see. So in that little teddy bear thing you're seeing, he's actually in a subatomic plane of existence, and he's helping defeat soul suckers.
You know who should be writing this book?
Jason Aaron.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say Jason Aaron.
But this sounds like a Grant Morrison book, kind of.
No, it's not. That.
No,
It's not that weird?
No, because Grant Morrison, in my opinion, is not a character writer. Like,
no.
He doesn't write character; he writes concepts.
Yeah, and this isn't a concept book at all. This is 100% character.
Well, there's a lot of concept, but it's hidden. It's hidden under really good character work.
Right.
Yeah,
no, I'm gonna have to agree. This is more of a reevaluation of the character of Doctor Strange than it is. Oh, we're gonna relaunch it with a brand new concept. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a from the ground rethinking of the character from the ground up. So that's why I was initially trepidatious, but I realized, no, this is the way the book, for Doctor Strange to become popular, they kind of have to do this.
Yeah.
And then I was okay with it, because it's still enough of the Doctor Strange that I know that you know what I mean, that I don't feel totally like he's not Doctor Strange.
Right. There's enough elements of him that it still works.
Yeah.
Like for instance, he basically, like, his cape and his whole costume revolves around the fact that he can wear his regular daytime clothing, and then, like, his cape can become his scarf, and therefore the rest of his clothes sort of dissipate, and he becomes wearing whatever he was normally wearing as like a regular person.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, again, though, all done with the art. I mean, it just
Right.
some I would love to talk to the two of them and say, okay, who came up with the transformation from, you know,
right,
from the costume into the street clothes.
Yeah.
I would love, guys, Jason Aaron, Bachalo, we would love to talk to you.
Yeah.
Oh, here we
awesome.
go. Oh,
Awesome
here we
stuff.
go again. But yeah, I love this comic. I'm so glad we got to talk about that.
Yeah, it's good.
But that wasn't the only number one. We had two
No.
other number ones that we definitely wanted to talk about.
Let's talk about Spider-Man.
Yeah, because that was also sort of a reinvention from the ground up, but not exactly.
No, there's some of the newest ways of approaching the character that I've seen in like 30 years.
Yeah,
and
it's
thank fucking God, dude. I'm so glad that Dan Slott is keeping up with the whole let's not have poor Peter Parker down on his luck, like, struggle.
well.
I'm glad.
Well, he moved on from that, but he has kept other things about Peter Parker in there pretty solid. This is Dan Slott and Giuseppe Camuncoli, and Alex Ross did the cover art for it. But this book now has Peter Parker, head of Parker Industries. He is a CEO. He's a global CEO. He is an inventor. And why wouldn't he be, folks? If you had the ability to do good in this world on a Spider-Man level, why wouldn't you use your brain to do good and invent things like your web shooters, but like for everyone else in the world, for their daily lives, like the internet, like the web, wink, wink, for everyone else in the world to communicate, which is exactly what Parker Industries does. And this is what Spider-Man does, and he does it, and he gives this stuff out. He is a charitable person, and he has many charities, and they mention it right off the bat. They also mention the fact that, hey, you know what? He is a poor man's Tony Stark. And
I like that they're running that concept.
They mentioned that he only takes a middle management salary.
Yes.
Yeah.
And no more. He is capped.
No, but I'm wondering if Alex Ross had anything to do with the redesign of the costume.
He did.
Yeah, it's a it's a very subtle redesign, but I thought kind of a nice one.
One, you've got like the little glowing backlight for the spider chest emblem. Also, in the comic, they show off the fact that it's somewhat shinier, that it kind of glistens in certain parts. So you're trying to figure out whether or not it's either just cloth or is it like maybe more of a polymer, like synthetic type thing. That's a little bit more classier and a little bit more like updated for Peter Parker. Also, can we just talk about the fact that they introduced the Spider-Mobile and it's actually not lame?
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Like the whole... I was reading the first part of this. I'm like, are you kidding me, Slott? You cannot be doing this. Do not revisit.
Of course he's doing it. I told you, Dan Slott still writes 1970s comics. That's what he does.
Right, but he made it work. He made it fun. He made it like $200 million big budget action fun.
Yeah, it's not a dune buggy.
Right. No,
and it's really cool because Mockingbird is S.H.I.E.L.D.'s liaison to Peter Parker's corporation. So she's in the Spider-Mobile with him at the beginning of the book.
Which, by the way, comes with an auto-tune option whenever you speak inside the car.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, this feels more big. I mean, the idea of making Peter Parker and Parker Industries more of a worldwide phenomenon and more of a global sort of thing. I like the fact that they raised the bar as far as what the action is and who Spider-Man is in the comic. I mean, it's something very cool to watch Spider-Man do his thing in, was it Hong Kong?
Shanghai.
Like I mean, it's a little bit of Batman Incorporated, a little bit, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's not as
but it's more
obvious.
It's more fun.
Yeah. It's not as on the nose as Batman Incorporated. In other words, there's still only one Peter Parker and one Spider-Man per se.
Right.
Well, actually, there's two Spider-Men. There's a substitute Spider-Man in New York.
Prowler is filling in.
The Prowler has got a Spidey. I thought that was just really clever. I mean, I don't really read Spider-Man on a regular basis, but I was really into it. I was really intrigued by every new thing that they just were introducing, and I thought it was I feel a natural, overdue evolution of the character.
But you know what's great? When speaking to someone else about it, they didn't like the fact that they moved away from the sort of Peter Parker down on his luck, blah blah blah. And I said, well, you can't always be down on your luck in life. That eventually you get up, you pick yourself up, and you move on. And that is exactly what Peter Parker has done. And in doing so, that is what Slott has done with the evolution of this character. And I think that's a really strong point with all comic characters in this time and age, is that what we're seeing is that they've really applied that to all of them. We're seeing characters grow right now. Whether we like it or not, they're growing. They're evolving. Yeah. And we're seeing real change, not a little change. We're seeing actual change and growth in characters. And a lot of people don't like it, and a lot of people do.
But at least they're just trying something new. Like, that's the concept I'm so happy about.
This kind of reminds me, just flipping through it, an updated version of the Todd McFarlane era.
I could kind of see that.
With Peter with the suit kind of being more...
more proactive. He's definitely more proactive about things.
Well, I think that was one of the things that they...
I'm not sold on this.
You got to read it, though.
I will. I'll read all these number ones.
And the other great thing about it is he's still Peter Parker. They didn't lose that either. Like, he still does a press conference and forgets to zip his fly up.
Yeah, well, that's Dan Slott writing 70s comics again.
Yeah, but it's still Peter, you know?
So to speak.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like Peter Parker, even with the changes. So I think these. No, I mean, and let's talk about Iron Man now because
Yeah,
I thought of all of them, Iron Man was the least changed.
I agree. Yeah.
Believe it or not,
but
I have a couple of things to say about Iron Man that are not necessarily the greatest.
Oh,
Believe it or
Well,
not.
I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but I thought mainly it was the revamp was having Brian Bendis do it.
Yeah.
So you get the Bendis approach
Yeah.
Right.
to a character.
You get the Bendis
but
feel to it.
What's that?
The Bendis feel to it.
Definitely.
Yeah, it just has the Bendis feel to it. I mean, Bendis is good. Bendis is good at what he does.
I'm not taking that away. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why I pick up Bendis comics. For sure.
Well, what were
Because you tried Bendit, like Bendis?
Here's where I'm at with this thing. I did enjoy it. I understand that they're trying to bring it more in line with the cinema and the movies. And I love the team. I love the fact that he's keeping his Ultimate Spider-Man team together, working on this. I'm really excited for that. I thought the art was fantastic.
It's beautiful.
It really is.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Just the subtle redesign of Madame Mask.
Oh yeah, I like that too.
I mean,
Whoa, Sheldon, you got a little bit too excited about that right there,
Well,
buddy.
I mean, she looked good though. Like,
yeah,
she looked good.
Yeah, the designs on her mask was a nice touch.
Very much. I liked the relationship that he has with Friday. Again, that's the AI that they brought in from the film. So it's now his AI is kind of a flavor of Jarvis and Pepper Potts. Like, here's my thing. I pick up Bendis titles for his dialogue. Like, I think his dialogue is awesome. For whatever reason, it failed in that department for me in this series, or in this first issue.
Really?
The overuse of ums and wells, trying to make it sound more natural and trying to have it more in the cadence of Robert Downey Jr. totally took me out of the comic. I know that sounds weird.
I like that Sheldon one.
Well, and a lot of dots, and that, for what, I don't know why, but it was, Bendis is great at dialogue, and he decided to change it up a little bit in this thing, and I'm not okay with it.
No,
it fell off for me. It fell off.
Yeah, I didn't have that feeling at all. I mean, if anything, Bendis was a little lighter on the dialogue because I think he acknowledged the sort of propulsive quality of the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have it felt to me like a really well-oiled machine, like reading it. I mean, that's what worked for me, because really it's just sort of bringing in that character in line with the movies more than any of the other books. But yeah, I didn't have that experience. It's interesting that you have that experience.
The stuff that, and I don't know, maybe now that you bring that up, maybe it's interesting that for me, the best parts of the dialogue work with the conversations that he has with the AI. Maybe that was kind of like the point that maybe this Stark, not so good with human interaction, but right away the dialogue clicked for me really well when he's talking to his AI. So maybe he just gets along better, or is just more comfortable in his skin, so to speak, when he's talking to like someone who's not actually real.
That's always been Tony, dude. Tony's always been kind of like that. Tony's kind of an introvert.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got. That's kind of the feeling I got from it. Because like the dialogue with him and Friday works immediately. Like their repartee, like I was all about that.
Yeah, I guess the biggest sort of thing about this was the very, very, very last panel.
Oh, can I mention something about this? I didn't read it, but I have the internet. I'm on social media. Wednesday morning, around 6 o'clock LA time, which I know, it's 9 o'clock New York time, right?
Right.
A certain website, we'll call it Cool Bleeding, right?
Okay, cool. I like cool bleedings. Okay.
Had already put up this fucking panel and was like, you won't believe what happens in this week's comics.
That is atrocious.
That fucking pisses me off. That is lame fucking comic book journalism or journalism. That is clickbait, and that also hurts sales of comics, people. That's what people don't realize. Hey, guess what? If you're gonna spoil the book that day when books come out, people might be like, hey, you know what? I don't need to pick up this.
That's all that site does, dude.
Oh, I know. Hey, Cool Bleeding does that. I get it.
No, I don't even deal with them anymore. On top of that, it's run by the internet's biggest troll. He's a guy who claims that the internet ruined his life, but he totally instigates.
Harry Knowles?
No, Harry's awesome. I like Harry.
No, but I agree with you, Kirk.
Yeah.
And it ruined his life so much that he's making a living off of it now?
Yeah, and
Shut the fuck up, sir.
He instigates. I mean, I know this firsthand.
I know you do.
He's interjected into conversations I've had on Twitter, and just for the sake of trying to instigate a conversation. And the best part is I've shut him down a couple of times. So
it's such clickbait. Like, oh my god, you won't believe what happens in this week's issue of blah blah blah. And guess what? That hurt sales. I'm sure someone might be.
You won't believe what happens in this week's issue of Batman and Robin when Robin dies. Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who does your editing, buddy?
I don't know.
But yeah, so I wasn't surprised because I didn't even read this book. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's just fucked up. Like, see, we give you at least a week to spoil books for you guys.
No, but that's exactly what your point was. Oh my god, I haven't read this book yet, but it doesn't matter because these motherfuckers ruined it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And my first reaction was, oh, wow, feels like Dark Avengers with Norman Osborn. I don't know, I can be totally wrong on that.
Well, I know that they're going to get into the meat and potatoes of who Tony's real parents are.
That's true.
Because they've already sort of stated that several times. And I'm curious now as to who his actual parents are. And what's up with Doom?
Well, I guess, do you guys want to mention what I was just bitching about? Because people might be like, what? Huh? What is the big...
So the big reveal at the end of the first issue.
And okay, guys, like we said, we gave you a week. Here comes the big spoiler.
Sheldon's pregnant!
It's true. Is a full page of a pretty much completely fine looking Dr. Doom. Like Sans armor. Yeah, Sans
Victor
armor
Von
face is
Doom.
fine. Yeah. Looks young, happy, and ready to roll.
And I've always liked the fact that this is why I get excited for, especially for Bendis on this title. He's played with the concept that Doom is the opposite of Tony Stark.
Oh, dude, people were doing that before Bendis was around.
I know, but Bendis really had some fun with like the two of them squaring off and watching them and how both their armors work and compensating and dealing with certain situations. It's always been fun for me. And if we're going to go back to that.
They did that a lot in the when David Michelini and John Romita Jr. and Bob Layton were on the book.
Please tell me you've got those issues so I can read those.
I don't have them with me, but they're pretty readily available.
Awesome. I'm going to check those out then.
There's actually a really nice Marvel hardcover about that.
Yeah. That's when they first sort of introduced the link between the two of them.
Right.
Was then. But I hear what you're saying, Kirk, and I did think the dialogue was not how Bendis usually does it, but I thought Bendis was maybe trying something a little different.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like not going so heavy on the dialogue. I think he was really trying to incorporate the action and make that prevail over the dialogue.
Okay.
But I thought, honestly, at all three of these books, they were all good. They were all really good.
I know, it's really hard to nitpick this stuff when, like, all three were really great, stellar reintroductions again. So
really, really gutsy, and I have to give it to Marvel. I have to give it to Marvel for trying something new with old characters.
And doing it well.
Yeah, and doing it well.
I'm guessing that we would sort of be moving on to the pick next, right? Or
No. You guys had your love fest. I want to talk about a couple comics.
Okay.
Well, I was going to mention one more book that wasn't a Marvel book.
Well, good.
And that was Batman and Robin Eternal #1.
I heard that spoiled something by the cover.
Did it?
Well, the internet blew up, and I was like, oh my god, there's a spoiler on the cover. Characters come back.
On the cover?
Yeah.
There's nothing on the cover that spoils it. I'm looking at the cover. There's nothing on the cover that spoils it.
I heard, like, Stephanie Brown's back or something like that?
No.
Okay.
No.
There is a returning character, but it's the first time this character's been introduced in the new incarnation of.
Who is it?
We're just doing that?
Yeah.
Cassandra Cain.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
She had been in, I think, an annual, and then she was in a couple of issues of Detective, I think.
Right.
But the Tony Daniel did a great job on the artwork in this. Like, it looked beautiful, and the story is awesome too. It's Scott Snyder, but like, man, it's a beautiful book. And I'm not familiar, and this is what I was going to kind of ask: are they making this up as far as story-wise, or are they pulling from a story that actually previously did happen?
No, this is a brand new story, I believe.
Okay, because it's almost as though they're referencing a story that I have never heard before, dealing with a character called Mother, and I've never heard of this character or a story dealing with this character. So I was like, okay.
No. This is, I think it's all brand new. There's a completely new concept that they're running with. So
okay.
Well, so the Eternal thing is not linked to the Batman Eternal?
This is kind of like the new, because now it's Batman and Robin Eternal, and this is going to be a weekly series, correct?
Is it? Yeah,
I believe
weekly.
so.
Yeah, it says weekly, Blockbuster Weekly Series.
So this is going into
the sequel to the Blockbuster Weekly Series.
There we go. And this is kind of more dealing with like all the different Robins, and I know this is actually going to go feed into Robin War, which is coming up later next year, I believe. But we're gonna start exploring more of the Bat family.
Because we haven't done that for the past 5 years.
Well, apparently there's some other seediness going on.
Ooh.
Yeah, we don't really know what it is, but there's some other stuff going on, and it takes place during current times, and meaning there's no Batman, so it's basically Dick and the other two Robins, and then whatever she's calling herself. What is she calling herself?
Oh, I don't. What is she? Bluebird, something like that. Blue Jay.
Yeah, I think. Bluebird, I think.
Right.
And she's not having any of Robo-Bat
at all.
Well, yeah, which is kind of great. Like she basically shuts him down and kind of laughs at him, and it's just like, what? Yeah, it's pretty great. But like the dialogue's great in this book, and it kind of like leaves you going, whoa, what the hell's going on? Like it really is the start of a great mystery. Which is exactly what a Batman book should be, especially more in line with Detective.
I do miss when they throw more action than actual mystery into a Batman title.
Yeah, and this one seems to be going that direction. So, yeah, it seems like a big actiony / detective thriller is what it seems like.
Right.
So, if you like that, check this book out. This is #1 also.
Very
all right,
cool.
So, all right, so I want to talk. I want to talk about a book. It's not the pick.
Okay.
Darren, I know you want to talk about Lando, but we'll get to Lando in a second. I just want to mention, like, a big congratulations to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for hitting issue 50.
All right.
No, Kirk, we talked about this. Seriously, name me some books that are on issue 50 right now. Guess what? No Marvel or DC book. Can't do that, can you now?
Well, there's a lot.
Do you want us? Do you want us to answer? Or?
Seriously, think of a book that's hit 50 right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me see. Let me think.
So I've got
And those are the same ones that Kirk mentioned.
Well, but
Hellboy, BPRD.
But none from Marvel or DC, but that's just my little nitpick. Anyway, Turtles.
Action Comics is almost all of the DC books are almost at 50. They're 5 issues away.
But they're not 50. By the time they're 50, those books will be at 55 or 60.
They're all almost at 50.
Almost. I think I can. And then Dan DiDio's going to come out and be like, hey guys, guess what? So remember how it's the new 52?
I doubt.
After issue 53, we're going to restart.
I doubt Dan is going to stop them in 5 issues.
I wouldn't be surprised. You never know. Over there. So Turtles, number 50. Me and Sheldon talked about this for a little while on the phone today.
Uh-huh.
I was really excited. I love my boys. I love the Ninja Turtles. But it was an oversized issue. And I'm just going to break it down to like what you need to know if you're interested in jumping onto the Turtles. Big epic fight. Turtles fight Shredder. Shredder fights Splinter. Sheldon, should we mention the big spoiler from this book?
Only one walks away.
Splinter, of all people, or all rats, whatever you want to call him, goes fucking Anakin Count Dooku style, cuts off Shredder's head.
Oh shit!
Yep.
Yeah.
But he okay. So Simon's making it sound a little bit more sinister than that. Like they both come to an agreement first.
Well, it's very Japanese.
Yeah, it's very samurai. Like they both sort of talk things out, and like it's more of an agreement of like I did wrong. I want to go back to the days when we both agreed on things. Yes, I agree. I would give me a honorable death. Yes. All right. Honorable death time. And then he cuts his head off.
But here's the other craziness. Mikey sees this and is like, "Fuck this! I'm done."
Well, no, that's not why Mikey says "fuck this." Mikey says.
Was it after?
Yeah.
Oh, it was after. Okay. So you want to mention what it is? Who's in charge of the foot now?
Yeah, Mikey basically says all that after Karai steps forward and says, I now want to give you full power of the foot, and I want you to control the foot now as the new leader.
So basically, so they give Splinter the foot?
Yes.
Yep.
Jesus, dude. So they just basically pulled an Angel season 5.
I stopped watching Angel at season 3, so I don't know what you're talking about.
And Splinter accepts, and Mikey says, "What? I can't do this anymore. You guys are crazy!" And then he jumps and flies away. Not flies, but he just jumps away.
He seriously jumps off from a roof.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that they cut off Shredder's head.
Yeah, it's hard to come back from that.
I mean, unless somehow... No, I think we're done with Shredder.
I don't know that. Well, no, because he's already come back from death once.
Yeah. But fool me once.
Well, no, I mean...
Shame on you.
Yeah.
I mean, and then they kind of tease you at the very, very end with the Krang, with General Krang. And it's like... they're like, "Oh, well, sir, we saw the rat and the 3, his 3 turtles and that sort of thing." So, I don't know. It's I don't think
I'm sure we'll see Shredder again. I'm like over dramatic, making this more epic than it is. I would be okay if we don't see Shredder until issue 100.
But I mean, it's one of those things where like maybe someone else could pick up the mantle of being Shredder.
Sure, absolutely.
What if somehow Splinter becomes...
Mikey comes back as Shredder.
Yes, Shredder is not the rat. Sorry, Darren. Darren's asking us in the chat.
Splinter is the rat.
Splinter is the rat.
Because we know how much Darren loves turtles.
And Shredder is the really bad guy with all the knives and stuff. There you go. Splinter's the rat.
Yes.
Are you embarrassed to ask these questions loud? Don't be embarrassed.
I'm shy.
We we won't shame you.
We won't shame you if, I give a fuck. Turtles is the biggest independent comic ever. Even bigger than The Walking Dead when you think about it. Turtles have been around for 30 years. It's had how many movies? How many There is no fucking gorilla!
What?
Bring back the gorilla.
No, you said bring Godzilla back.
You can't read English.
I'm doing this show blind. I don't even have my glasses on.
Now you gotta have an excuse for everything.
Dude, think about it. Turtles is a bigger independent franchise in the long run than The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead has been enjoying 5-6 years of fame. The Turtles had over 30 years now.
You're right, Simon. You're right, Simon.
Just agree.
I don't know, Sai.
It's okay, D.
Yeah, I think you mean Shell.
That's sweet D to you.
Sorry. Hey, talking about something sweet. I know you want to talk about a certain sweet space pirate.
I would, but I don't want to step on your turtle toes.
Turtles don't have toes.
Oh, that's right.
Whatever.
I love how passionate you are. I really do. I love how passionate. Like, I'm enjoying every time we do one of these episodes because I'm personally not reading Turtles.
Yeah, and you're not reading Invincible Republic neither, so
which I will get to. But
I don't know if I should trust your
your
taste in comics. Dude, there's a couple of things I'm really passionate about in life when it comes to like comics. Turtles is one of them. Turtles.
Oh,
I love it. I'm so excited for it.
Okay, can we talk about Lando?
Hell
Let's
yeah.
talk about Lando.
Let's talk about some Lando.
I wanted to bring up Lando because I'm gonna just say it. This miniseries has kicked ass on every front.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
From beginning to end.
Yeah.
This is probably the most shocking surprise of the year for me, actually.
It was a tragic. The ending was very tragic, and I almost shed a tear. It was a very bittersweet ending.
Yeah.
Lobot basically giving up his humanity to save Lando. And asking Lando in a pre-recorded message to be a better man. I was just like, what the fuck? This is just a comic book, guys. But it was a real deep dissection of the character of Lando. And I just really want to give the credit to the creative team. It was just that ending was so heartfelt.
It was, especially when you're dealing with a character like Lando, where we don't really know a whole lot about him except for what we've learned from the movies. I did not see this emotional of a story coming from this series.
Yeah.
Like, at all. I mean, to be quite honest, like, this series bitch slapped me pretty hard with how powerful of a story they presented. And yeah, the last final pages of number 5 on the Lando series, I totally teared up. Teared up.
Can we give it the first ever Comic Impact slow golf clap? Can we do that?
Yes. And you know what? It also explains, like, early on, we were like, I don't get it. Lobot is so different than what we saw in Empire. And now we're like, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
And the other thing, the cover to this issue makes a lot of sense. It's actually a very symbolic cover.
Yeah.
He's gambling. Yeah.
Yeah.
How Lando has gambled with people's lives for years. And they just literally just illustrate that on the cover. I thought it's just really great. I'm actually gonna pick this up when it comes out in like a nice hardcover.
I
Nice.
think that's definitely a good thing to go with. Also, someone else pointed this out, but I wanted to bring it up again. Watching Lando get out-Landoed.
Oh, in so many ways.
Yeah,
Mm.
that was one of the really cool twists, seeing who these characters are, because of course that's who Lando would run into and run with in this galaxy.
Dude,
There are
it's
people
female.
like that.
It's female Lando.
Yeah,
Oh, and by the way, how great was the turnabout of, I always tell people that I don't like guns. I fucking love guns.
He's like, I always tell people I don't like guns because the only people that have ever dealt with me shooting them are dead.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love it. I love it.
But see, that's Soule getting Lando / Billy D. Williams like his voice.
No, it is. It's nailing Lando. It's 100% like nailing him, and it basically like it kind of like changed our perception back to the way we thought it was. Like initially we were all like, oh, I guess it makes sense. Like Lando doesn't like to use guns, and then it's like, oh shit, Lando only uses guns and then he kills people with them, and that is it.
Yeah, literally a couple issues ago we were like, oh, Lando's a pacifist apparently.
Yeah, he only uses the nuclear option. That is it.
that's it.
He only uses a gun to kill somebody.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
He doesn't wave a gun around like a moron.
Right.
When Lando has a gun, you know shit's gonna get real.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I did have a really great. There was one piece of dialogue that you guys touched on that I'm pretty sure they wrote it down and just went, "This is the character in a nutshell. We'll build everything around it." And one of the lines was, "Bluffing doesn't work if people know you're bluffing. Everyone knows Lando Calrissian doesn't fight. He gets by on charm and luck."
And that's Lando.
And that had to be like, I just see Charles Soule like trying to dissect who Lando is, and he probably wrote that down and went, "Oh, that's it. That's the entire series right there. That's the character." And we'll probably put that somewhere in issue 5.
Yeah, I think he wrote this story starting at the end.
Yeah, probably.
Could
He
be.
knew he was going to get to that point.
Yeah.
And I'm totally okay with that. I mean,
And then he
Well,
called.
that's the way Brubaker writes a lot of his stuff. He knows where he's going to end. He knows how he's going to end.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. It was hard for not picking this as the pick.
It was
Well, that's
very
why-
hard. Very hard.
That's why it was like, oh, well, I've been the Star Wars guy a lot this year.
I think you should have made this the pick.
I do like the pick for other reasons.
Okay.
I think it means something when I pick it because I'm not a Star Wars fanatic.
I'm not a Star
yeah.
Wars fanatic. I'm just obsessed.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
No, giant.
Is it December 18 yet?
Giant Star Wars fanatic over here. Totally into it.
So do you think Charles is Charles Soule, right?
Yes, and he's gonna be writing the Obi-Wan Anakin comic.
Ooh. Do you think he called Billy D. Williams like just randomly? And they're like, can Mr. Williams call? Can Mr. Soule call you at any time? And he's like, yeah. And he was like, absolutely. Tell him just to give me a call. And then Charles Soule would then like give he's like, well, I don't know when to call him. When do I call him? He's like, I'll call him. I'll call him in the afternoon. So he calls him. He's like, hello, who's this? And he's like, oh, Mr. Williams. This is Charles Soule. I'm going to be writing a comic book. Oh, a comic book. What's your little comic book going to be about?
Hey.
Well, it's going to be about Lando, a character you're famous for, obviously. Absolutely, Lando. I know that guy. That guy's me. And he's like, yeah, well, that's why I want to talk to you because I really want to get in his head. Well, come on over. And he was like, what? He's like, absolutely. I got my friend Bobot over here, and hey, Bo, why don't you put that down? All right. And we're gonna play a card game. Why don't you come on over? I don't bluff. You know me, guys. I don't bluff. And you can write your little comic book.
Tonight on Comic Impact Theater.
We recreate a moment
A historic moment in time.
Yeah, why don't you know what? Fuck interviewing creators. Why don't we just
Recreate our own moments in time.
enact of what we imagine?
We will tell you exactly how it worked based on the clues that we were given on hand.
Sure.
That's exactly how we'll explain.
We will make dramatic assumptions on our parts.
And then at the bottom, we'll have a little thing saying, these are not true events, did not probably happen this way, but in our heads, they did.
Mildly untrue leaps in logic.
Sure. Come on over.
And Charles Soule was like, but I don't live where you live.
Hey, baby, it's all good. I'll send over my my Ford Falcon 21. All right, babies, come on. We got this.
You know, one of my favorite parts of this issue that was actually fun, because it is a sad issue just in general, is Lando and female Lando, as I like to call her because I don't remember, when they see the cat Black Panther fighting, right? Where Lando's like, damn. And she's like, told you. Just because you see that kind of like they're the same person in a way, but such a good book.
It really is, and
poor Lobot.
I don't want them to do another Lando book. I'm completely fine with this.
If they do, I want this thing to sit for a while.
I
kind of agree with you on that.
If they do another one, it has to be the same exact creative team.
Right.
Also, if Disney and Lucasfilm ever goes, hey, we should make a Lando movie, guess who should write it?
Charles Soule, right there.
Yep.
I was going to say Sheldon. So what's the pick of the week?
The pick of the week is an Image book that I've been really excited about since it was announced.
How you doing?
Good.
Just a couple hours
How's the
ago.
podcast going, man?
Podcast's going good.
Is it going great, man?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Hey, is there a camera there?
No,
You
it's
all
just
talking? This is exciting. There's a lot of people there.
my best friend Dan Kusunoki. What?
What?
Hi, Dan!
God.
He just left.
Did you ask for me?
Dan Kusunoki,
Oh my
what are you
God.
doing here?
Hey, is that Lando Calrissian?
Hell yeah, it is. Why? Who's asking?
God.
Oh, fuck it. You know what?
That
Thinking about it in hindsight, let's give it to Lando. It deserves it.
You know what? Probably.
Yeah, Paper Girls was awesome. We'll talk about it more. But it's also fucking that team deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, as we're sitting here talking about this, and I really am excited to talk about Paper Girls, but guys, you know what? I think we got to call an audible on this one. I think the pick of the week is Lando number 5.
Yeah.
Wow, changed it mid decision.
I think we're doing it. I think
we pulled a bluff on you guys. See?
Oh,
just like Lando would.
But I do want to talk about Paper Girls, Brian K. Vaughan.
I know you love Brian.
We'll talk about it then. Talk about it.
Okay, so Paper Girls number 1 by Image Comics.
Oh, thanks. I thought I was going to talk about it.
Brian K. Vaughan, what'd you guys think?
Loved it. I mean, obviously, until a couple of seconds ago, it was the pick. It felt like a Goonies comic book in a way, right?
Yes, it happens in 1988.
Mm-hmm.
And it has certain trademark BKV moments where he likes to interject like awesome little factoids and history into the dialogue.
Oh, dude, it felt like 1988, riding my bike with my buddy Peter, just even the dialogue, everything.
Yeah.
Which...
Especially like some of the insults that the kids start like hurling at each other. I'm like, oh yeah, those were the insults we used back in 1988.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this.
Oh yeah.
Simon went to an all-girls school. I think that's what we're learning here.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Catholic girls, dude, they're awesome. Anyways,
Yep.
I don't know. The color was, the art's perfect. The very first opening scene with the dream sequence,
Weird.
really
That was
gnarly
great.
chills. Yeah, gave me some really gnarly chills because I think we've all had dreams like that where you're just kind of cursing at the dream.
I'm having one now.
The the color on this title, Matt Wilson knocked it out of the fucking park.
It's a fun, great looking book, but what's great about it is Brian K. Vaughan doing dialogue that really feels like kids of that era all hanging out and having those dialogues. I mean, I don't know.
Let's be point blank. Calling someone a faggot is definitely something you would have done in 1988.
Oh yeah, and the whole age reference?
Yeah.
Total 1988.
That word was coming out of everybody's mouths.
Which is
not mine.
Well, from what I remember, that was a word that was used a lot.
Yeah, which is disgusting. That word was used a lot like that.
It was, but I mean, it's true. It's true to its era.
Yeah, and also, dude, the kid was dressed up as Freddy Krueger. I remember Dream Warriors coming out, and I think that came out in 1988 also. The Third Nightmare. And I was obsessed with that movie. I was obsessed with Robert Englund. I totally had a nerd out moment at Comic-Con 2007 when I met him. I totally, I never get starstruck, but me and Robert Englund, I got starstruck. So, of course they would dress up as Freddy for, Halloween. Nightmare on Elm Street was a big deal back then. And just, even the whole stuff oh, wow, you're smoking. And it felt kind of like also the typical 80s horror movie, but it's not a horror book. Even with the cops running into, the kids.
Well, okay, that was something that was really predominant in 80s movies and stories, was that it's always cool when the kids are actually smarter than the adults.
Right.
And two, one of the scariest things that you could always encounter was not monsters, but either bullies or people, in this case, police officers, people in authority who are already abusing their authority. Those were elements that are really scary for me when I'm reading or watching a movie. And those elements
still carried over
so
now,
good.
though.
It is.
Totally. But those were things that you always saw in Goonies movies or any type of, what was what do you guys remember? Was it called The Explorers, where they found an old carnival ride thing?
Yeah,
with
River Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
River Phoenix. But again, kids that were smarter than the adults in the movie.
And that's what these girls are.
Well, it actually reminds me of Peanuts.
Charlie Brown?
There's no adults. You know what I mean? They're just not there. It's kids living their lives.
It just reminded me. No, it's definitely like a Goonies / every sort of teen centric movie you ever saw in the 80s. It's 100% that.
But then also it's got a really gnarly sci-fi twist to it.
Yes, which, by the way, I'm calling it now. Okay, you ready for it?
All right.
The people in the raps and stuff. From the future, and it's them. Boom. Mind's blown.
What?
Because they got shocked, that's what they turn into. So they're trying to go back and stop it before it happens.
Oh, shit.
No.
Ding dong.
Not buying that. Sorry, dude.
I don't agree with that. I don't think that's what it is. But it's definitely people from the future.
From the future.
In the future.
No, because these guys look like guys and not.
You don't. How can you tell they look like guys? They're under a bunch of clothing.
Well, there's a part where one of them gets its hood taken off, and also the height difference.
But if it had, yeah, but they're older, Simon. Of course, they're going to be taller.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think you should assume anything about what these characters are yet. I mean, they're.
And if it had radiation,
I'm gonna say I'm intrigued, but I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Darren's point of view on this one.
Excellent.
And then, in true Brian K. Vaughan fashion for number one, you get the holy fuck moment at the end of the book.
Yep.
So 1988. Apple wasn't a big deal. It was, but
Well,
it was the Macintosh. It was
Right.
it was Steve Jobs not even being around, really, at that point. Steve wasn't around. Personal
It wasn't
Walkman.
what we know.
Yeah, Walkmans weren't around. Or, as we like to call them, iPhones or iPods or whatever. And at the end, they find, literally, she just says, it's an Apple.
Literally.
Not like, oh, it's an iPhone. I mean, an iPod or something. It's an Apple. Because for her, she picks up an item and she sees an Apple logo.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
I was like, okay. And, like, how cool is that? It's just, it's something from the future. Maybe they're listening to a Comic Impact podcast in the next episode. If that's what the future in 1988 holds, whew, that was, sorry, future. Do
Right.
something else with your life.
yeah, I feel bad for him.
Yeah. But they're going to probably be like, what the fuck is this? I want a couple scenes of them trying to figure out, like, what it is. Like, try and be like, I hear music. What is this? You know?
Who knows?
Imagine in 1988, if we had an iPod, someone just goes, here, look what I found. And then you hear all this music or, like, anything on it. We would have been like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, I would have easily freaked out. That's not even an issue.
But it would have been, like, the best freak out ever.
Yeah, and then we would have gotten over it in a week.
Yeah.
A week? Maybe an
Yeah.
hour or so.
No, we would have gotten over it in a week. It was just like there was always new inventions, man. Back then, going
Hey.
up into now.
And maybe the Apple, as they're calling it, is only the beginning. Maybe they're going to find other stuff that we might not even think about. That
Well,
are
like-
part of life. Like a cell phone. No, I mean, perfect example. They use walkie-talkies in this issue at one point.
Right.
So it's also showing you, hey, 1988, no cell phones. We had walkie-talkies.
Oh, or like a panini.
Oh, yes, Dan, thank you. Panini, yes.
A panini or like a Carl's Jr., like Big Carl.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's
Simply unheard of.
The first time you tasted a Western bacon cheeseburger.
Oh, they would have flipped out. What's this? A Western bacon cheese?
What? A burger with bacon and, like, barbecue sauce and cheese?
Good stuff.
Guys, I don't think you understand. I still freak out over bacon Western cheeseburgers to this day.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
does.
Like,
So-
there's never going to be a time when I don't freak out about that.
Or,
Exactly.
I've seen this man freak out over a cheeseburger pizza.
that exists.
Oh, dude.
Mhm.
Dude. Yeah, this week when I was over at Simon's house working on some stuff. We did bacon
That's gross,
cheeseburger pizza. And it was pretty goddamn glorious.
So take that, future. That's going to be in your life.
Actually,
Well-
guys, I hate to say it, we're going to have to change the pick of the week again to the bacon cheeseburger pizza that I had this week with Simon. That is new. That is now the new pick. I'm really
Fair enough.
sorry.
All right. So I guess we'll tweet at Domino's that
Congratulations! Guess what?
you were the pick of the week on this podcast. What?
keep up, keep up the great work.
Thanks, guys. All right. We're done.
We're done. Put a fork in it.
Yeah, we've been talking for too long. If you
This is
stick
true.
around, thank
Or
you.
not long enough.
If-
No,
If you want,
And if not, we're talking mad shit about you.
if
no,
you want to have a
even I'm
private,
sick of me.
if you want to have a private conversation with Sheldon, 818-555-555-555.
Yep.
And guys,
Those
as
are
always,
the
don't
last five. They're
forget.
most important.
Yeah, there's a lot of fives in there. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Go check out the other stuff that we have over at ComicImpact.com. Go check out the other videos. Go check out past podcasts. Check out all that stuff.
And hey, next week, order a cheeseburger pizza from Domino's and listen to a podcast with us.
Fuck yes.
Also, don't forget every week right after The Walking Dead, it's The Talking Dead. You can join me and all the. Oh wait, no, that's a different show. I'm sorry.
No, that's not. Yeah, that's
No.
not us.
That's a different show. That's a different show.
Turtle power. Bye.
Bye.